Let me turn this light on. All right, there we go. All right, hello guys. Let me get the actual dueling book up here. There we go. All right, there we go. We're all set. So welcome back to the channel. It is Tuesday, March 17th, and we have a JANK local going on right now. So let's see. We have 18 players tonight. 5 rounds of Swiss. God damn it. I thought it was going to be 4. I guess enough people entered at the last minute for it to be 5 rounds. So we're doing 5 rounds tonight. Yeah, so let's see what happens, you know? Let's just see what happens. We got Yugioh versus Baku Brody. I'm going to watch that one immediately. It's a good one. How are y'all doing? Let me turn the sound on for the duels as well. Can you guys hear me well enough? Can you guys hear me well enough? But yeah, today's been pretty good. There's definitely JANK. Oh god, did some people... Thought that got... Okay. All right, I'll just wait for this match to start. Anyway, chat, how's everybody doing? What everybody eat today? How's everyone's day going? You know, all that good stuff. Like, let's just get right into it, you know? I'm having a pretty good day overall. No complaints. I went to the gym today, which is a success. Any day I get to go to the gym, I feel like makes me a better man. So I'm very happy that I got to go to the gym today. Yeah. And I actually was very productive for work too today. Like, I woke up and I just turned my computer on and just started. I did so much work today that I should be like, I should have some downtime in the next couple days, which I'm hoping for. I think tomorrow I have to finish a couple more things, but then Thursday and Friday I think I'm going to be like very, very light, and that's what I'm hoping for, because I really want to play Slay the Spire 2, but I haven't had much time to play it. Like right now I have 75 hours in the game, and those are rookie numbers because the game has been out for like, what, 2 weeks now? Almost 2 weeks. It came out 2 Thursdays ago, so yeah, it'll be officially 2 weeks this Thursday. But yeah, I didn't do any bench pressing today actually. TMD, what you benching now? 250. I didn't do any benching today. I did a lot of different machines. I mainly worked on arms, triceps. I did a bicep exercise, lat pull down, leg exercises. I did some core. Like I just be doing full body. I do a lot. Like I do a lot of different, just a lot of different things. Okay. All right, we had someone enter the tournament with 2 brain controls. Fortunately, I had to DQ them just now because their deck list was 40 cards. And if you remove a brain control from it, it becomes 39 cards, which is an illegal deck list. So they are automatically out of the tournament, unfortunately. And that's just how that works. So yeah, when you're submitting a deck list, you got to be careful. Adding 2 of a card that you can only play 1 of in the format is definitely something that you want to make sure you're not doing. But yeah, so here we are. Anyways, Baku Brody versus Igera, Deep Prison on the Cyber Dragon. Drastic Drop Off is seeing way more play in Jank than I've ever seen this card see play in my entire time playing it. Like I swear this card is like playable ? In this format. Unfortunately, that doesn't make it 4 rounds. Like someone getting DQ does not change the number of rounds. I wish that is how that worked. That doesn't do that. All right, let me back read some of this. Fraser have the best wife ever. She got me WrestleMania tickets. So my boyfriend actually loves wrestling, and I told him about this, and he was just like, I think that is the best wife ever because she got you WrestleMania tickets. So yeah. So shout out to your wife, because that is awesome. WrestleMania is from what I understand, the biggest wrestling event of the year. And I actually watched Monday Night Raw yesterday, and I've been watching a good amount of wrestling in the last couple of like weeks because of him. But yeah, wrestling's kind of nice. I actually like the women. I really don't care for the guys, if I'm being honest. Like the guys do not, I don't know why, but for some reason the guys don't do anything for me. But the women, my favorite is what's her name? Fuck, I'm like all out of sorts right now. Rhea Ripley. Is that her name? Rhea Ripley, right? Babe, that's her name, right? Okay, gave it a thumbs up. Yes, Rhea Ripley. That is my favorite wrestler right now. I love her. She is like everything I want in a wrestler. Also like Asuka and who? Well, he likes Liv Morgan. That's like his girl. I don't really see it for Liv yet. I'm trying, but like I don't really see it for her. But yeah, I've been getting back into. I haven't watched wrestling in 20 years before this year, so this is This year is very like interesting to me because it's been literally like 20 years since I watched wrestling. And now I'm back into the wrestling bag, and I don't hate it. Like, I actually really enjoy some of the storylines and stuff. It's very campy. I used to love wrestling as a kid though. Like, I literally grew up, you know, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Undertaker, Big Show, Kurt Angle, Chris Jericho, Rey Mysterio, who's actually still a wrestler right now. The Rock, Stone Cold, if I didn't say them already, like Kane, when Kane and the Undertaker were brothers, and Kane used to wear a mask because his face was supposedly burned real bad. Triple H, you know, Generation X, like, yeah, just Rikishi. Who else was there? Like, everybody. Hardy Boys, Dudley, Devon Tables, like, you name it. China, RIP to China. Good times. Wrestling was a good time when I was younger, and then I just like mysteriously grew out of it. I think I just became like a teenager or something. And I remember one of the things that happened to me with wrestling as a kid. I used to record things that I liked for some weird reason. Like, I don't know why. I was a kid that would record like anime, so I would record Dragon Ball Z, Sailor Moon, Gundam Wing. I would like literally record these things on VHS tapes, if you know what that is. And I remember recording wrestling. I recorded like a Royal Rumble or WrestleMania or something, like SummerSlam. I recorded one of the wrestling events. And this was a mistake because when I watched it back, I remember watching it in slow motion for some reason. And I saw, like, it broke the illusion for me because there was someone who did a clothesline. And I blatantly saw that it wasn't real. And it, like, for my like 10-year-old, 11-year-old brain to see that, because people would tell me, like, you know, other kids in school would be like, oh, it's not real. And I'm like, fuck you. Like, you know, it's real, right? And they're like, no, it's like Santa Claus. And I'm like, no, it's real, bro. I've seen people bleed, which, you know, that is real. Like, I've seen Triple H do a pedigree on Mick Foley and into Tex, and like he was bleeding. But what I didn't realize was that like a lot of it was a performance, and it was like a lot of acting and stuff like that going on. So when I saw like an event, and I remember seeing, you know, a guy run on the clotheslines, and then he went to go clothesline the guy, and the guy literally, like, with perfect timing, just kind of like fell as though he got clothesline, but he never got touched. And that completely, like, I think that just kind of like fucked my brain up after that happened. And I just kind of I slowly stopped watching wrestling after that. And so it's been like 20 years. But yeah, that was I used to fucking love it, man. I used to love it. SmackDown was on Thursdays. Monday Night Raw was always Monday Night Raw. And yeah, just good times. Anyway, I digress, chat. I'm sorry if I'm boring you all with my random wrestling talk, but you know, the first comment today on today's live stream, the very first comment was about WrestleMania. And so it's kind of relevant to my life right now because I actually do plan to watch WrestleMania. And yeah. I was obsessed as a kid and a teenager. I saw WWE live when they came to town many moons ago. It was incredible. RIP Undertaker. The Undertaker's still alive though, right? I know he has some hot takes, but I'm pretty sure he's still alive. Sweet Chin Music and I Won't Pass the Aux. That Shawn Michaels. I had a friend like that. It's hard to believe. Yep. That gives Santa isn't real vibes, and I understand and empathize. I too was devastated. So here's how I feel now. I feel like, and like the last thing I want to say about this wrestling thing, I feel like, so now that I'm an adult, right? I'm much older, and I understand that, like, okay, wrestling, and I'm using air quotes here, isn't real, right? But at the same time, if you go into it knowing that it is meant for entertainment, and at the end of the day, like, if it entertains you and it makes you happy, then there's nothing wrong with enjoying that. Like, it's not just something for children that, even if the illusion is broken, I still think that it is something that can be entertaining to you. In the same way that, like, when you watch any TV show or any movie, they are also fucking acting, and you are probably enjoying it, assuming that it's a movie that you really wanted to see or a TV show that you really wanted to see. Like when I watch Game of Thrones, I know that dragons aren't fucking real, and I also know that, like, you know, Daenerys Stormborn doesn't actually exist, right? So there's that. So if you go into it with those, you know, with that mindset, it's instead of being like, oh, like this is so, you know, fake and blah blah blah, like, then just, you know, don't watch it. Question mark. Like, Julia Whiteman, Spore, what's up? Random question, what's the haircut for 20k subscribers? I am not doing a haircut for 20k subscribers. We have to come up with a different subscriber goal. I would not be doing any more. If anything, the most I will be willing to ever do to my hair again is I might dye it, but I will not be cutting my hair off again. That is off the table. I still enjoy wrestling. It's more like a sports anime that takes place in real time where they only get one take. If you let yourself watch it like a movie, it can be very entertaining. Exactly. Exactly. I agree with that 100%. Round one was quick. Rage said I was pleased when I was pissed. I thought you said I was pleased. I was pissed when I found out that dragons weren't real. Same. If you try to watch it like a legitimate sport, you're going to be disappointed. You know, the funny thing is, I think legitimate sports are also compromised now because of the gambling apps. I do not think that legitimate sports are really much different than wrestling because there's too much money involved now with all the gambling. And I'm sorry, but it's been coming out, if you've been paying attention, it's been coming out that a lot of games are fixed, like blatantly, either by the players, by the referees, by other outside influences. But like a lot of professional sports games are just fixed. So in that vein, it is not much different than wrestling, honestly. I think it's actually unfortunate because I'm a person that is really against like sports betting and just like gambling in general. Like people gambling on their phones and basically losing a good sum or all of their money. I'm really against that. I think it's very predatory. And I just don't like the idea that now on your phone you can just lose all your money. Like, I'm not a fan of that shit at all. Gambling addiction is very real. And I speak about this on my podcast a lot. Me and Kenny talk about this topic. In the last like 6 months, we talked about this topic probably 3 times about the gambling stuff because it's everywhere now. Every podcast I listen to, when I listen to a podcast, they're like, oh, Prize Picks, oh, you know, DraftKings, and it's just, there's just so many of them now. I'm not a fan. Like, I am not a fan of seeing people just lose their money like that. Brandon Crank says, pro wrestling is basically a play. The actors are just freak athletes. Exactly, yeah. What the fuck do you mean dragons aren't real? How do you go to work with that haircut? You just like put clothes on and leave the house and go to work? I don't know. The music producer of Jay-Z and Adele named Rick Rubin wrote a book on creativity and specifically talks about how it is real because it isn't real, and that's what makes it so special. I'm not sure I follow that one, but okay. I did a pie in the face for every 1K raise for a charity event. Smelled whipped cream for months. I feel the haircut thing. 100% about the gambling apps. Same with politics. A press conference abruptly ended at 89 minutes and 50 seconds. I'm guessing someone had a bet on how long it will last. Yeah, like I don't trust anything that, and now you can bet on anything. I have a hard time trusting a lot of things, but when it comes to sports specifically, I think a lot of sports now are compromised. And this is not even just like a conspiracy theory. This is just fact. And it's been coming out over the last couple years that a lot of sports are just compromised by people cheating or like throwing the game on purpose so that they can, so that their families can like win a parlay or win a lot of money, or the referees are cheating. It is like a lot going on because there's too much money involved when you have the gambling stuff going on, which is rampant. It ruined the integrity of sports to me. Like I have a hard time with like all sports at this current. I just think that sports are so fucked because I don't think that it's going to stop. I really don't. I don't think it's going to stop. I think there's too much money in gambling in sports, and they're not going to just let games come down the chance. Unfortunately, this is a very capitalist country, and there's a lot of money to be made by preying on people. Like if everyone's betting on one team to win, then the team that has, you know, the odds that they're not going to win, if you put your money on them, you make a lot, right? So that's how people get rug pulled. Everyone's like, oh yeah, of course this team is going to beat this team, right? Like it's so obvious. This team is so much better than the other one. So everyone puts their money here, and then they rug pull you, and then they make this team win. And now the people, the few people who bet on this team over here, who were projected to lose, make a shit ton of money. Top 5% of players get all the money, and the other 95% of players go on podcasts and say 1 million a year isn't enough. Yeah, that is a thing. You can literally bet on anything. I heard that there's an app. Is it that Kalsi app or something? You can bet on literally anything now. Like it's just like, you know, bet on whatever you want. I've been hearing about this. The only gambling I do is Yu-Gi-Oh. Like I don't go to casinos. Unless I'm in Vegas, where you can't avoid it, right? Because every hotel is technically a casino. So Vegas is the only time that I really go to casinos, because you don't have a choice. Like my hotel lobby in Vegas is always a casino. That's just how it is. But outside of that, I don't like go to any Philly casinos. I don't go to Philly casinos to try to gamble or like, you know, win a bunch of money. Because I'm very risk averse. I just don't like. I don't like the feeling of walking in with $500 and leaving with zero, and you also don't have anything. Like when I walk into a designer clothing store, right? I walk into Balenciaga or fucking Louis Vuitton or Gucci or whatever. If I spend $2,000, I leave there with something. When you spend $2,000 at the casino, if you didn't win, you literally have nothing. And I cannot wrap my mind around that part at all. So it is not pleasant to me. I always thought of professional wrestling as men's soap operas. So Chase, I agree, except I think that it's not even men's soap operas now, because in my personal opinion, I think that the women are way better. I think they're way more entertaining, and I think that a lot more women are into wrestling now because women are represented. When I was younger, all we had was like China, Trish Stratus and stuff like that. Like there were not many female wrestlers when I was a kid. It was not a thing. There was no women's division. Like China will come out every once in a while. You know, you had Edge and Trish Stratus come out together. Like she was like his prop. Stephanie McMahon was Triple H's prop. But there was no like League of Women. There was no WrestleMania where the women's had a whole thing. There was no Royal Rumble for women, right? And I just watched a Royal Rumble a couple of months ago. And like, well, I guess it would have been in February, right? I watched the Royal Rumble, and they had an entire women's Royal Rumble, which is not a thing. Like when I was growing up, that just was not a thing at all. Like there weren't even enough women to have a Royal Rumble when I was a kid. So that's how different things have changed. And I think it changed for the better. But yeah, I do think that it's like, it is basically a soap opera. Yeah, it is like a soap opera. My grandmother used to watch Young and the Restless, As the World Turns, when I was a kid. And, you know, I didn't understand it at the time because those shows, just the subject matter was too complicated for like a 6-year-old. But I would see my grandmother watching soap operas almost every day. And I guess wrestling was my soap opera as a kid. And now that I'm older, I realize like, oh, it's still the same thing. You can still enjoy this. If you're going to gamble, at least just do it honestly and go to a casino. You'll probably have better odds of winning than those totally not gambling futures betting apps. Rick Rubin, low-key a crank. Here in Brazil, a soccer player legit helped his cousin win a ton of cash by getting a red card. What's a red card? I don't know what that is. I learned recently that sports gambling was legalized by the Supreme Court in 2018. See, that's pretty recent too. That's like 8 years ago? Same thing in the pharmaceutical industry. The amount of money behind medicine is unreal. Shout out Ozempic. Yeah, Ozempic hit the fucking streets like crack in the 80s. Yeah, I don't know what being a crank means either. You go to Fremont in Vegas or the Strip? That's where I'm from. When I go to Vegas, I end up in both places sometimes. Like I'll go to the Strip because usually that's where my hotel will be. But then I've also been to Fremont, off the strip, and I like that area as well because there's good food. Then I like good food. Vegas is some of the best food in the world to me. Vegas is in my top 5 like food places in the world. Like in terms of cities, like Tokyo, Japan, #1. Vegas and New York, I'm not really sure how I rank them, but like Vegas legit might be #2 and New York #3, or just reverse those two. Nothing's touching Tokyo, but you know, y'all be safe. And then like, I'm also big on Chicago is really fucking good. And Philly, where I live, is also top 5 for me. We just have too much shit. We actually just got a couple Michelin star restaurants and stuff too. The Michelin guy came here this year, and we got 3 new Michelin star restaurants and 3 other Michelin recommended restaurants that like cheesesteaks and stuff like that. What's my favorite thing to eat in the world? It's very simple, very straightforward: steak. And if I had a choice of specifically what steak, Japanese A5 Wagyu is the best thing I've ever tasted in my entire life. It is not even like, nothing is close to that shit. Straight from Japan. Being in Japan, eating Japanese A5 is an experience like no other. It is the most tender, fucking melt in your mouth, flavorful meat ever. Those people know how to do anything culinary. This is over, right? Okay. Yo, I love this card in JANK, bro. It starts to make me wonder, is Vandalgion somewhat playable in regular Edison? Because it is broken in JANK, I think. But I haven't, you know, I haven't explored it too much, but every time I see it, I'm like, man, this card seems kinda dumb. Red card is like DQ for having 2 pot of greeds in your deck. Oh, so he purposely got a red card so that his family could win money, and this was in professional soccer. Yeah, and this is what I mean. Like, there's so many of these stories, and you gotta imagine, we only hear about some small percent of the fucking fixing that's going on in sports. There's a lot of fixing that no one knows about because not all of it is getting captured. Not everyone's getting caught doing it. I'm sure it's fucking rampant though. There's so much money in fixing sports. Like now with sports betting being an all-time high, it is a part of American society now, unfortunately. And there's just so much money in it. It's crazy because I know guys that were locked up for taking bets and running numbers before 2018, and now you can just download an app. San Francisco is top 5. I have never been to San Francisco. I haven't even heard of San Francisco as being a food place either, but I don't doubt that it could be. I have never been. The only thing I know about San Francisco is that it's hella gay. Recently went on a Virgin Voyages cruise and the food was amazing. Chicago and Philly both top 5, no questions asked. Yeah, Chicago and Philly are insane. New York, Vegas, and Tokyo are my top 3. If you've been to New York, or if you've never been to New York, whatever. New York has 2 of my favorite restaurants. One is called Hyun, Hyun. I went there for my birthday last year, and I went there for my birthday 2 years ago. So I went there twice in a row for my birthday. Insane. It is a steakhouse, but they do a all-you-can-eat Wagyu for like $160 a person or some shit. And it is fucking crack. Like, it is so fucking crack. In fact, I think I can pull up a picture and show the chat exactly what I had for my birthday. And I went with a bunch of friends, and it was like all-you-can-eat Wagyu is just crazy. Where should I put this? I should put it here. I love good food. My phone, I have like so much just like good food on my phone. That's like, I take a lot of pictures of food. Okay, so I do like my steaks medium to medium rare, for anyone asking. So there's that. Never anything darker than medium. Like, I feel like at that point, you know, you get the fuck off the table. Okay, I am sending some stuff to my computer. That way I can like show it on stream. Who is my favorite athlete? I don't really have a favorite. I'm not a sports person, so like I'm not really into, like I don't really have a favorite athlete or anything. If I did, my favorite athlete would be like Kobe Bryant. I really like Kobe Bryant because I grew up when it was his era, but you know, he unfortunately passed away. So if I had to answer, it would be like Kobe Bryant or something. Serena Williams, she's insane. Tom Brady, also insane. Like, I just respect the greats, right? Like, I respect all the people who just like, they're just insane at the game. So I don't really have like a favorite, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not. Like, to be like, oh, I'm a huge fan of this person would kind of be disingenuous, because I don't really particularly go out of my way to watch games or to do anything like that. Here is a steak that I had recently from, this is from Del Frisco's Double Eagle Steakhouse. This is a bone-in filet. I think it's like 18 ounces, and it was fucking absolutely absurd. Crack out of this world. But yeah, bone-in filet. There's truffle fries up here, and there's macaroni, lobster mac and cheese right here. This steak was like $90, and it's obviously a la carte because it's, you know, it's a very, very expensive restaurant. But it is, that steak is fucking. I'm salivating looking at that picture right now. I'm hungry. I came from the gym. Okay, I'm very hungry right now. Brandon said I can make that. I don't doubt you, King. I do not doubt you at all. This steak, yeah, that steak was crack. That steak was crack. Now I don't know if I can play this. Like, does this work? Okay, this is not going to work the way I want it to. All right, let me go back to the game. Sorry about that. I could still show it though. I just have to download it first. And then on OBS, if I add a source, which would be a video, media, I guess just media source is fine. And I'm going to call it that. And then we're going to go into my video folder and add this. Now, will this play? Oh, there we go. Okay. This is from that night. This is from that. This is the bone-in filet that I had with truffle butter. Bone-in filet, truffle butter, truffle fries, lobster mac. I don't know what just happened to the video. I guess it's not going to loop it or whatever. I can make it loop it though. So let's do that. Okay. So yeah, lobster mac and cheese, truffle fries, some kind of corn, more mac and cheese without the lobster because my friend doesn't like it. And he got like a porterhouse, not a porterhouse. He got what kind of steak did he get? It wasn't the same as mine. I get the bone-in filet. He gets something else. I forget what he gets. I don't think it's the ribeye, but maybe it's the ribeye. Maybe he got like, I don't know. I forget. But we both had truffle butter. It was great. Like this, that was insane. Anyway, the reason why I even wanted to pull this up though is because here is the Hyun, Hyun in New York, my favorite restaurant in the country. It is all you can eat Wagyu for like $160 a person. I go here on my birthday, and this is what it looks like before it was cooked. They also cook it in front of you. So like, this is what it looks like before it's cooked, and it's all different cuts, and it's just insane. And it melts in your mouth. And then when they actually cook it in front of you in the skillet in front of you, this is what it looks like. And you guys are just allowed to dig it, and they keep bringing it. So they just keep bringing it out. You're like, can we get another round? And they just, when you say, can I get another round? They bring you another tray like this, and they just start cooking it in front of you again. And so you just sit there and eat until your heart's content. Like, it is quite absurd. And I have one more thing that I'll show. and that is the actual like chef cooking it in front of us. This is the Wagyu here, and they're cutting it with the scissors and everything. It is so fucking good, chat. Like, some of the best food you will ever experience in your life, honestly. Look it up, Hyun Hayan. It is a steakhouse in New York. You have to reserve to get in. You can't do like they don't really do walk-ins from what I understand. Reservations, I would book them far in advance because it's not like a, hey, I want to go to Hayan tonight kind of place. Maybe on like a random Tuesday like tonight, maybe you could though. But because New York is overpopulated as fuck, you might not be able to just like walk in and get a table. But yeah, it's crack. It is crack. Yeah, it is crack. Oh shit. Now I'm getting kicked out. I don't even know who we were watching, honestly. Was it this? It was this, right? So yeah, chat. Oh, the video audio is over mine. I didn't even realize that the video had audio. Thank you for saying that, though. I didn't even realize that the video had audio, like that it was playing audio. Maybe I should make it where the videos don't play audio at all, because I kind of don't want them to. Like, if I want to show a food video, like, I don't need there to be audio, honestly. Let me see. How can I do that? Because I guess it would be like playing it anyway. Okay. Oh, he's gen locked? Is that what's happening? Have you ever been to Sojo Spot in New Jersey? No. I accidentally ordered a 185 steak the other week at a friend's birthday with fried cocoa. I was in shambles. It was amazing though. Australian raised beef, apparently. How did you accidentally order a $185 steak? Was it one of those things that said market price on it or something like that? Whenever shit says MP, I've learned, as someone who played Final Fantasy growing up, when I see MP on a steak or like on any menu, I ask the fucking server like, hey, how much is this? Because this just says market price. And I'm not trying to get ruined here, because you guys can just say anything after the bill comes. Like, the bill comes, it's like, oh, it's $300. Like, hold on. Wait, what happened? What's wrong? Okay, wait, hopefully I can thank Jason about this one. Oversight. Thanks. We don't know the best way to handle that. We both forgot Jin effect and info has been revealed since. How much has happened since the first illegal summon? This is definitely giving accept the game state, right? I think this is very simple. Both players get a warning and accept the game state. I feel like they're far past. Yeah, this is okay. Yeah, it's on both players to keep the integrity of the game. Obviously, that is like, Yu-Gi-Oh 101. Mandatory effects like Sangan cannot be forgotten. Mandatory continuous things that are just in play also. Yeah, you gotta be paying attention to your duel. So there you go. All right, now I think that's the end of round one. Hopefully, because I feel like that was long, but maybe it wasn't. Let me see. Let me check the timer. $13 minutes left. Okay, so that was 37 minutes. Not too bad, actually. It's actually pretty fast because the rounds are 50 minutes long. He had to win anyway. Okay, so you're saying it didn't really matter. I wasn't watching at all because yeah, I mean, Morph, you guys just have to keep the integrity of the game while you're playing it. I don't really know what else to say besides that. Like, if you're letting things like happen illegally and you don't catch them in time and you guys play like a good amount past that point, there's really nothing that can be done. Because it's not on one person to remember that special summoning cannot happen, right? Like, it's not. So. All right. It's also the information that's revealed that also makes it like there's a point of no return, right? So, yeah, just, you know, just everybody be careful. Just be more careful, okay? All right. Anyway, we're moving on to round 2. Morph, can you please report? Thank you. There we go. Okay, round 2. I'm going to set a timer and then get back to chat. I'm very happy though that that round was relatively fast. And I think things will speed up throughout the tournament as well as people drop or whatever. As it tends to, as these things tend to go. Okay, so Poppy Churro, GYBU, The Blur, Baku Brody, DeMarco, Psy, Mayberry, Churro Nation, and Pumpy Heart are all still undefeated. So I'll be watching one of those duels. Okay, so we saw Baku Brody already. Let me see something. Mayberry hasn't lost yet either, right? Yeah, we'll watch Mayberry. Let's watch Mayberry versus 704 Dude. Is that? Okay, that's the Blur. Got it. Nothing like max rarity food. Max rarity food is great. That's my favorite cut. I'm 99% sure it's a bone and ribeye. Yeah, I think that his steak is probably bone and ribeye. Oh, it's not in these pictures, but yeah. Bone and ribeye. Tuesday 20 streams are really just a Frasier weekly blog, so peak. They kind of are. The tournament is really just background music for me. It's kind of just like something to play in the background while we chill together, because there's only so much Yu-Gi-Oh, okay? If something interesting is happening, I will, you know, discuss it. Like, I thought Van Dalgam was really cool in the first round, but like, you know what you at this point, it's been years. I've been streaming for years. You guys know what you're getting when you come to the IMNerd podcast channel. You know what you're getting at this point. And if you're new here, hello. This is how we do things around here. We talk about a lot of different things that don't necessarily pertain to just Yu-Gi-Oh. But my channel has over 1,000 videos on it that are all pretty much about Yu-Gi-Oh, if that is your thing. So there's plenty of Yu-Gi-Oh concentrated content on the channel. Probably more than most other channels that you can subscribe to, because we have such a high output. Steak is so good unless it's chewy or burnt. I haven't had a bad steak in probably over a decade, because I just know how to order my steak. Yeah, I have not had a bad steak in a very, very long time. And I also don't go to places where I could even be at risk of having a bad steak. Like, I won't go to somewhere. Like, if I get a steak, so here's my rules. I'm very bougie about this. But food is one of my favorite things in the world. It might be number one at this point. I do not order steak from places that are not a steakhouse. Full stop. I will not go to a place that is not a steakhouse and fucking order a steak. I'm just not doing that. The only exception I would make to that is if, like, it is a place that is a culinary masterpiece and they have a steak that they're also kind of known for. And an example of this is Carbone in Vegas, which is an Italian restaurant. It's very hard to get in. Like, probably one of the hardest reservations in the country. Like, Carbone period is really fucking annoying. It's better now because they added a new location, but back in the day it was so hard to get a reservation. You couldn't do it online. You had to call them. It had to be like a month in advance. It was a whole fucking thing. And they have a steak that is like really, really fucking good, but it's an Italian restaurant, so mainly people go there for the spicy rigatoni, which they're famous for. You hear it in rap songs, you hear it in music all the time. Spicy rigatoni from Carbone is crack. Tier 0, like, it's amazing. One of the best things you could ever eat. But outside of that, I won't go to like some restaurant, some like random restaurant and order a steak because I'm not trying to have a shit steak. Also, because the steak is going to be expensive, because steak is always one of the most expensive things on every menu. So if I'm going to be paying like $40+ for some steak dinner, like, I don't want it to be prepared ass or just taste ass or be a bad cut of meat or whatever. A good steak with mashed potatoes and asparagus, that definitely does slap. I'm going to do my first tournament for Edison on Dueling Book Thursday. Any advice? No, just have fun, honestly. Like, have fun and take it easy. There you go. There's my advice. Man, listen, the motherfucker waiter was like, here are our specials for the night. So I assumed it was like a special price or something. And it was a special price, Brandon. It wasn't special like the way you thought. You thought it was gonna be special cheap. He was like, it's special expensive. That's funny. Mayberry has been on a tear this year so far. Haven't spent 300 on a dinner before. When I do it, yeah, I mean, I had the LDS on mute, but had your audio on. Well, wait, what? You had the LDS on mute. Are you saying I'm your favorite male online entertainer? Because that's what I'm assuming from that. Okay, that's what I'm taking that from. You can't even have it back. I'm taking that. I have not played any Soulsborne games. I don't even know what Soulsborne is. You're not getting a New York strip from Buffalo Wild Wings. Damn. Yeah, no. I pulled a $350 Riftbound card today. Time to eat some steak. Oh yeah, what is this? Millennium Scorpion? I don't even know what this is. Or Crosser. I've never seen this either. It's 1800 while you control another insect. If an insect monster control attacks, okay, it makes all of them trample. That's interesting. How do you order it? Yugi Boomer, what do you mean? How do you order it? How do you order what? I made the mistake of ordering steak at a Mexican restaurant over the weekend. They brought it out burned. When I asked for medium rare, I sent it back. Then they brought back raw. What? See, that's what I mean. Like, I am not ordering steak from, again, miscellaneous Mexican restaurant. That's just like, it's just certain rules that I have when it comes to food, because again, I'm very bougie when it comes to food. I'm not ordering a fucking steak from like like if I see steak on a Mexican, if I go to a Mexican restaurant, there are specific things that I'm already in my mind thinking of that I'm going to order, and steak is not one of them. You are definitely my favorite Edison entertainer by far, no cap. Oh, Yugioh, I already answered that question. I order my steaks either medium or medium rare, depending on where I'm at. Sai is really playing Benkei. Is he? Is he? No, I'm watching insects right now. Layer wire. Remove from play one insect monster from your graveyard and select one monster your opponent controls. Destroy the selected monster. I actually like this card. In JANK, obviously, but I like this card. I have never had a blue steak. No, nor do I want to. I might as well have been a cow, bro. It looked pack fresh. That does not sound appetizing at all. That does not sound appetizing. Brain control. This is not game. There's a flying Kamakiri, although this is a lot of fucking damage though. Unless there's something that this is going to recruit that I don't know about, which is very likely because I have never seen flying Kamakiri played in regular Edison. I've seen Mother Grizzly, I've seen UFO Turtle, I've seen Mystic Tomato, and I've seen Shining Angel. And I've seen Giant Rat. This is the one recruiter that I have never seen in regular Edison. This is the one. All of the other 5 elements I've seen. I've not seen this thing, so I don't even know what it can get. Flying Kamakiri. Chameleon. Now what is this? I've seen this card before, but I don't know what it does. When you contribute this card in one face-up insect. Oh yeah, this is the draw too. Damn, he got ran through all his flying Kamakiris. Yeah, he did. I like that this is a cost. You contribute this card in one face-up insect monster except B-list soldier draw 2. So like you summon and you tribute, and the other thing is tributed as well. So they both go to the grave at the same time, and then you draw 2 cards. What if that's cylinder? Just like cylinder. And then like they check life, and apparently there's like 4 warriors in the graveyard. Like somehow there's just like 4 warriors in the grave. Yeah, Nightbot is funny. I do wonder what Nightbot found so offensive about what Ty was saying, because that shit, it did not like whatever he was talking about just now. Oh, you can see the message, Enraged? Oh, view deleted message. I can see it too, I guess. Oh. Oh, yeah, you definitely cannot. Yeah, Nightbot is not going to let you use that word in the chat. I didn't realize that I could view the messages that are blocked by the bot. But that's good to know. Thank you for pointing it out in Rage. Now I know that I can. I mean, not that I really want to see the message. If Retrobot is blocking a message, I probably want it blocked. He said I always look at them. I've never looked at them until just now. I've never seen a single message that has been filtered through by a Nitrobot. I have no idea what Nitrobot be on here about. I think reptilians are actually not terrible, because wasn't Carpath playing reptilians and at regular Edison with like dandelions and scapegoat and just a bunch of shit? Like that reptilian Vasky, I think is her name. That card is terrifying. It's a special summon, 2600, can attack and pop a card. A monster, I think. I'm just afraid that Vasky is 2600 attack and has like a Hyperion effect. And honestly, not that hard to summon. There's like, can you use Fires of Doomsday to summon it? I know those tokens have restrictions, but I feel like she kind of bypasses it, maybe. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, Vasky's playable. Vasky's kind of nice. I just lost the Vasky spam. Vasky spam is real, because you got to think about that card is just broken. Like that card, Vasky is actually good. Even in regular Edison, if somebody summoned the Vasky on you, like it is a problematic card. Like it's not something that we can just ignore if it got summoned. It's just that like nobody plays Vasky in regular Edison, so we never have to deal with it. But it is one of those cards that's like, oh, that's 2600. That attacked my Monarch and popped my other guy. What is Mayberry playing? Is this like just a deck of good cards or something? Arsenal Bug. If you control no other insect monsters, this card's attack and defense become 1000. Oh, okay. So this is a 3-star 2000 attack card. All right. Ouch. Oh boy. Okay. Well, that's a DD War Lady that is going to banish the Arsenal Bug. Never thought I'd say that sentence. And then Howling Insect and Flying Kamakiri are going to get in. If Kamakiri was so good, why isn't there no Kama Oop? Damn, Fraser, you ill. My bad, I was behind. The LDS audio was... Oh. Okay, Did you ever play the Frog OTK with Mash Driver? I hated that deck. You mean, so that's not Frog OTK, that's Frog FTK. And yes, that is the deck that I used in that entire format. I used Frog FTK that entire format in 2010. That was my main deck. During that format, that was my main deck. Never did I imagine that 15 years later, I'll be playing like frogs as my main deck, but that's just how the world works. Funny how things turn out, because when I was playing the Frog FTK deck, like I thought they were cool and everything, but I never thought like, oh, this is going to become your main deck in 15 years. Like never once. Yeah, Frog OTK is very different from Frog FTK, and Frog FTK is a format that I would never revisit. I would never revisit that format for funsies, because like that is such a bad time in Yu-Gi-Oh's history. That FTK is extremely consistent is the problem. It's like very, very consistent. And in order to compete with it, your deck building has to be so ass. Like I would not, that is a format that I will just leave where it is. It's just not interactive. Yeah, like if I have to main Hanewada, if I'm forced to main deck DD Crow, like if I have to play anti-meta, I'll pass. Yeah, I agree, Trey. The majority of Frog FTK format was fun because it wasn't discovered for a while. That is very true. I lived through it. But the problem is, we know now. And so if people wanted to play that format now, there's nothing hidden about the fact that, yeah, this one deck just straight up kills you turn one. Consistently kills you turn one. Before you draw your 6th card. Also, like, knowing what we know now about frogs, so that deck could, like, represent game. And if you stop them for one turn, they could just wait and just frog you to death, because we know now, as from playing Edison for years, that the frog engine by itself is enough to just beat people. Like that is, you don't necessarily need to like FTK them. Obviously you would like to, but like if they go like Hanewada, you know, you can't do it now. You could be like, okay, well, I'm going to, you know, block you. I don't want to play that shit again. I remember somebody wanted to fight me because I Frog FTK'd them. And then I told him there's no reason for him to play game 2. You win, and we'll just go straight to game 3. So that format is that bad. That format is that bad that I refuse to play game 2 in that format. I remember going to locals every week, me and Sean McCabe, and we were playing Magic the Gathering at the time. This was during a format that had Valakut, which is like it's like a land that says every time you play Mountain, like your opponent takes damage. And then there was this Primeval Titan that put 2 mountains into play, I think, or something like that. Anyway, Yu-Gi-Oh was so bad in 2010 during the Frog FTK format that me and McCabe became Magic players temporarily for like 6 months. And I was playing like blue-white control. I had my Valakut deck, and Jace the Mind Sculptor was a thing, Jace Balerian, Sun Titan, like Tectonic Edge. But what we would do is we would show up to the Yu-Gi-Oh tournament. Me and McKay were both playing Frog FTK. We would FTK our opponents and see who could do it the fastest. And then the other one would be responsible for setting up the magic in the back of the room. Like we would set up magic. Like, okay, you're going to play the blue-white deck. I'm going to play Valakut Ramp. Or you're going to play Mythic Conscription. I'm going to play, like, I don't know, the, what's that thing called? It had Annihilator 6 on it. That deck. What's that thing called? It's like huge. It's like a big ass monster. The Aeon's Torn is called. The Frog Lady on GX managed to lose because she played D3S Frog. Yeah, even if Mash Driver was banned, Ronin Totem is still too much. So if you added Ronin Totem to Edison, right, and you banned Mash Driver, frogs are still tier 0. Ronin Totem is so what Ronin Totem, the Emrakul, thank you. So what Ronin Totem does to frogs is it makes it where if you ever see Substitute in another monster, you can fill your field up with advantage. So like you know, Substitute effect, tribute a guy, Treeborn, whatever, swap frog, send Ronin Totem, like tribute swap frog, summon guy, banish swap frog, summon Ronin Totem, sub effect, tribute Ronin Totem, get another guy, banish again, summon a guy. Like it's really bad. Format was so bad, bro started using mana for summons. Exactly. Primeval Titan is so broken that it even got banned. Oh damn, is it really that broken? Emrakul, the Aeon's Torn. I love that name. That name is crazy. Emrakul, the Aeon's Torn. So the deck that played Emrakul when I played Magic was called Polymorph. You like sack the guy. It was like Monster Gate. And I think that the only target in the entire deck was like Emrakul. So they would like summon a guy. They would get a token or something and they would go like activate Monster Gate, Polymorph. And they would just mill their deck until they hit fucking the Aeon's Torn, Emrakul. And then you just lose. If you can't deal with that thing, you just lose. Annihilator 6. Elspeth. Gideon Jorah. I had such a good time playing Magic for that brief stint. I just hated the people. Like I liked Magic for a brief time, but I hated the players because they were so much older and just lame. And I'm sure they felt the exact same way about us because we were young and rambunctious and just ridiculous. So it was like a mutual hate kind of thing going on at my local. We were very loud and they were very quiet and they used to tell on us because they were pussies. They were like telling us all the time, like, oh, the Yu-Gi-Oh players are so loud and I can't hear myself think. I just got off a 13-hour shift at the hospital. I'm a doctor, woe is me. It's like, fuck off. Titan is currently a top 5 deck in Modern, among the least popular decks to play against as it has very little interaction, just winning as soon as Titan hits the field with an Amulet of Vigor. Yeah, Mass Polymorph, even more dumb. Sack my sapling tokens. Helmkite, Matt Rush, Cyclops, and Emrakul, GG. We got Insects, Warrior Toolbox, and Benkei on the same night, yeah. I cannot wait for the ban list. Honestly, the ban list is coming out in like 2 weeks for JANK. Not they were pussies. They were pussies, bro. I'm sorry, I gotta call it like I see it. This is not JANK. I just popped my head in. Like, oh, what's going on in here? That was factually just not JANK at all. Is everyone done? Oh, GYBU's playing. Oh, here we go. So Pumpy Heart is playing Aliens. It's game 3. They're completely even in cards. Interesting. I think Aliens are going to be better after my ban list. Because they're not getting touched basically at all. Like I don't think anything in the Alien deck is going to get touched really. Oh, always trying to stop the Yu-Gi-Oh players from having fun. Classical, people spending time to do their hobby to complain about having to spend time on their hobby. The Magic the Gathering players are always wet blankets at locals. Yeah, we just did not get along with the Magic players at our local. We did not get along with them at all. They literally would tell on us because we were loud. And I mean, I get it. Like, we were loud. Like, that is a fact. But you go to a hobby store and, like, what do you expect it to be, a fucking library, bro? If y'all want to play Magic in silence, go fucking play at the library or something. I don't know. Or you're a doctor. Go play at your brownstone. Like, what are we doing? I I just hated it. So I hated the people, and then I started to hate the game after a while because I kept getting mana screwed or mana flooded, and that just means that like you can't play. And it feels worse than like not playing in Yu-Gi-Oh, because like, you know, you can draw a hand in Yu-Gi-Oh, I'm like, oh, I can't play. But like Magic forces you to put cards in your deck called land, and at least back then land cards were like pretty bad. Like even we had like we had like fetch lands, I think, and we also had lands that came into play tapped, like Celestial Colonnade, for example. It became a creature and attacked you, a creature with flying of all things. But at the end of the day, land as a concept is so bad when the card has to specifically be called a land to generate mana. Whereas games like Kaijudo or Duel Masters or Hearthstone, they completely fixed the land problem because every card is land, or you just get land, you get mana every turn. When you force people to play specific cards called land, then they draw hands that are all land and no gas, or they draw hands of all gas and no land. And it was really, really bad. And then you could mulligan, but when you mulligan, you draw one less card. So then you start off the game at a big disadvantage. It's just, it was so frustrating because I had been a Yu-Gi-Oh player for years at that point, like 5 years. And then playing a game where like, oh, I just drew too many lands, but I'm going to keep it because at least I can play the lands and then hope to draw cards, but then I still don't draw cards. It was frustrating, just very frustrating. And then like there was this card called Spreading Seas that I love to play. Spreading Seas, it says like draw a card and then basically turn one of your opponent's lands into a basic island. So you could fuck people's deck by turning their lands into islands when they don't even play blue, like they don't play blue cards. So now their lands are just completely useless because they need like green or they need red or they need black. And you're like, turn this shit blue. Make it blue in this bitch. It's bad. Have you ever seen Guard Dog before? I have seen it. I have not seen it played. What does it do? Your opponent cannot special summon for the rest of his turn. I don't even get it. I genuinely don't even get it. Once per turn, you can target one monster your opponent controls. Change his attack to 0 until the end of this turn. You must control a beast. This is not a quick effect, right? Oh shit, solemn. That's how Riftbound is as well. You automatically get 2 lands per turn from your land deck. I love that. I love that. Every game that has come after Magic, to be clear, Magic started out so long ago. I think Magic came out in like 1980 something. Magic is old as dirt. And it's a victim of when it came out because, you know, the game has an inherent flaw and everybody has fixed that flaw since. Why does this keep happening? Who were we watching just now? I don't even remember what the names were. I hate getting kicked out of DB. Who were we just watching, chat? Anybody know? GYBU, thank you. GYBU, here we go. Pumpy Heart. Yeah, so like Spreading Seas plus his 1 blue, 1 colorless, 2 so good. Yeah, Spreading Seas was ridiculous. Spreading Seas was ridiculous. Yeah, every game after Magic basically like fixed the mana problem. They were like, you know what? This is an unpleasant part of the game. So why don't we make it where you just get mana, and then you can focus on deck building, you can focus on technical play, you can focus on literally everything else. What just happened here? If a monster got summoned in Chain Link 2, you can't bottomless it. So, like Starlight Road, for example, you can never bottomless the Stardust off of Starlight Road. Yeah, this guy definitely starts a chain because he has a colon. So when a face-up beast monster you control is destroyed and sent to the graveyard while this card is in your hand or graveyard, colon, you can pay 1,000 life points special summon this card. So Mirror Force, so it's not Chain Link 2 Baboon in that case though. Mirror Force is a chain by itself. It kills everything, and then after Mirror Force resolves, then Baboon can activate. Yeah, so it's not like you can 100. If this is what happened, if what happened is Mirror Force kill some monsters, then after Mirror Force resolves, activate Baboon and a separate chain. Okay, there we go. What kind of night are we having? Like, can everybody just chill? What kind of night is this? Everybody is just like on like 100 today. I don't know. Welcome to JANK. It's not supposed to be like this. Bro hit the preemptive GG. It's just not supposed to be like this is all. I don't know, man. I just want everybody to get along. I just want everybody to get along. Mercury might be in Gatorade for sure. I'm getting Mercury and Gatorade vibes as well. I feel like the way people are behaving tonight is just, you know. She was an Aquarian and I was a Capri Sun. And the sun was rising and the moon was setting. So when I was born, it was 2:13 p.m. and now Mercury's in Gatorade. These violent delights have violent ends. I like that. It's poetic. These are the types of players I get on DB. Doja Cat, Moja Cat. Chicks ask me all the time when my birthday is. I say I don't have one. All right. Round 3 is starting. Let's go /set timer. All right, we're running through this tournament, which I am very happy about. We have not hit time at all. Let me refresh this real quick. Puppy Choro versus Baku Brody. I think I'll watch that. Churro is playing Reptilians. I cannot wait to see his build. The fact that Reptilians are, like, viable, I feel like we succeeded, chat. The Reptilians being viable, I feel like we succeeded. By the way, my local people started to buy cards for JANK format. First ask was Vasky. That's amazing. The fact that Edison JANK, like this, you know, custom format is affecting the secondary market is funny. Like, if people started buying breakers, because that fucking card won that Team Starlight tournament and was in every side deck at the EWCQ. I have not seen all the lists from the LDS, but Breaker is like, in regular Edison, Breaker is one of the best cards in the format, and 2026 has revealed that. Now, I've been citing Breaker since 2023, but it's become clear that Breaker is like better than anyone thought, because like he's in main decks now, he's in every side deck almost, like he's out here. Breaker is a staple in Go. He's at 3 in Edison, which is crazy. Are these two dueling or no? $1,900 beater that can pop a spell. Yeah. He's just good. What's been the most successful decks in JANK? Future Fusion with 5-headed dragon decks. There have been some very creative ones. The coolest one to me was Morph played a deck like week 2, and it was like it was playing like Vandalgion. It was like counter dragons. It was so cool. And then the other deck that has been very popular is basically Chaos. There's so many ways to build it though, but like Chaos in general is very strong. Is one of the main things I'm going to be addressing on the ban list, is how strong Chaos is. Like Breakers, Chaos Sorcerer, and any number of Lights and Darks. Like that is just, it's just like a good stuff kind of deck. But yeah. There's also Psychics have been nice. Like Psychic Overdrive Teleporter, that guy's broken. Alright, I'm messaging the players because I don't know what's going on. Counter dragons does sound very interesting. Yeah, I mean, he was negating effects with Divine Wrath and then bringing back Blue Eyes. Did you see anyone playing the Team Starlight winning list? So the Team Starlight winning list basically started from JANK, because we've had that type of deck literally like win and do really well here. Yeah, like Breaker plus, you know, Lights and Darks deck is a JANK deck. It is literally a JANK deck. The only card that's illegal in that deck is Caius. There's one Caius in that deck, and that's the only thing banned, I think, in the entire deck. The Counter Dragon deck is on a previous live stream, yeah. Well, I will say, unless you plan to use it in regular Edison, 5-Headed Dragon is one of the cards that I revealed will be banned on the ban list at the end of this month. So, you know, you won't be seeing Future Fusion for 5 Dragons anymore. But you can see it on the channel if you go back to previous live streams that have JANK tournaments, which there are several. This is the 7th one, as it says in the description. Yeah, it could even be better in regular Edison, potentially. Just don't be mad when you run into the inevitable frog player who just like dupe-blocks you and tells you to eat shit and die. Because like, that's typically what happens when you play regular Edison after a while. You run into the inevitable frog player who's like, hey, by the way, no more attacking. Yeah, Vandalgion negate with Divine Wrath, discard Blue Eyes, then bring back Blue Eyes is crazy. Oh, whoa, $20. SDFHDZ, thank you for the 20 bucks. Appreciate the content, brother. You're a real one and a trailblazer for putting on Edison. Much love. Thank you. But yeah, I do think Counter Dragons is like, I like it. I like it a lot. It's unfortunate that like 5-Headed Dragon is so toxic because of what Future Fusion does with that card. And I just have to get rid of 5-Headed Dragon because it really is like that oppressive to just Future Fusion and get like all that advantage. Like you shouldn't be able to Foolish Barrel for 5. Foolish Barrel's at 1. Foolish Barrel 5 times and then add 3 cards to my hand. Up to 3 cards to my hand is crazy. At first I was going to ban Future Fusion, but then I was like, what if there's other decks that could utilize Future Fusion that just aren't dragons, so they're not sending 5 things to the grave, right? So I'd rather get rid of 5-Headed because I really don't like what 5-Headed does more than I don't like Future Fusion. I don't mind Future Fusion because a lot of the things that you can Future Fusion for, like, you know, Absolute Zero and stuff like that, they're banned. You can't play heroes anyway. So Future Fusion should be fine after I ban 5-Headed. That's my thought. There's no Machina. You can play Jinzo. You can't play Jinzo Returner. I think Jinzo is actually good. I think Jinzo is actually good, and that was proven recently in a recent JANK tournament. I think, but like Jinzo Returner is banned. Actually, don't I have the JANK ban list somewhere? Like where? Let me hold on. Let me since JANK ban list that. Here we go. Here's the JANK ban list. Yeah, I'll even shrink this down some. But yeah, there's your JANK ban list. Jinzo Returner is on the JANK ban list because obviously you cannot have Future Fusion and Jinzo Returner in the format because then you're just playing Jinzo OTK format. What about Chimera Tech Overdragon? You know, Enraged, Chimera Tech Overdragon is scary because Overload Fusion is legal. But don't worry, we have plans. We have plans. Tethys being a menace on these formats is so funny. Yeah, Tethys, you know, you could just build Valhalla Fairies, which is already a deck in regular Edison, and I do not want it to be a deck that, like, oh, I go first, discard Hecatrice, play Valhalla, summon Tethys, and my deck is just fairies, and I just draw so much if you don't out it in one turn. This is the current ban list. That's what I was going to play. Machine, Solidarity, Chimera Tech, Salvos, Decos, Toon Cannon Soldier. It was nasty. Here we go. Fucking Vandalgion. Like, why is Vandalgion so big? 2800 is so outrageous. Like, if he was 2300, I would be like, fair. Him being 2800 is crazy. Yeah, that's true. He never did anything outside of this. That's for damn sure. Vandalgion, as far as I know, I don't think Vandalgion has topped in Edison yet. I don't doubt that it could, though. It just seems like a powerful enough card that if somebody came up with a deck, you can basically, what I think is that you could probably fit Vandalgion into like a competitive deck somewhere and top a tournament. Because this effect is really strong. Negate a monster, Monster Reborn. Negate a trap, pop something. Negate a spell is ass unless they're literally going to die from the 1500 burn. Because that effectively makes his attack power like 4300, which is a lot of attack power. But for the most part, like, negate a trap, pop a card, and negate a monster reborn is, those are both crazy things. Oh, apparently he doesn't work with Solemn. Is that true? Like, if you Solemn a spell or a trap, he doesn't work? I didn't know that. Oh, I mean, yeah, like, it's not an effect. Yeah, that one's obvious. I thought you were saying that, like, it just doesn't work with Solemn Judgment, period. I was like, that's news to me. You can still summon him though, right? Like, even if you negate a monster with Solemn, can't you just still summon him? Vandalgion has me looking at Divine Wrath differently. That's all I'm gonna say. I've been thinking about Divine Wrath more and more because of Vandalgion. Because the best thing that he does to me is like negate a monster, summon himself, resurrect a monster. You know how much tempo that is? To go like negate Caius, discard Blue Eyes or whatever, summon Vandalgion, summon back Blue Eyes. And you just basically got turn skipped. My last set, both games were 6 minutes and 21 seconds altogether. You were like speed dueling over there. Maybe you should play in the speed duel section since no one else does. Nah, speed duel. So you're saying speed duel players catching strays, but I say there are no speed duel players to catch a stray. So, you know, it's fair game. Every time I go over into the speed duel and rush duel section, it's just blank. And you can sit there for 10 minutes and you'll see nothing. I really don't understand how they got their own ladders and like Tengu, Hat, Redo, like they just don't have ladders, but you got speed duel and rush duel over there just chilling with no one in them. It's like a psyop. This card is broken. This card cannot be destroyed by battle. The attack of any monster that battles this card becomes 0, and that's permanent. During your end phase, change this face-up defense position card on the field to face-up attack. Oh no, Icarus attack. The good thing about that, oh, lowercase PK, thank you for becoming a member. The good thing about that Dark Rob is that the Icarus attack for reptiles doesn't like tribute for cost. It has to destroy and it's all in effect. So like that, he gets to keep his card if it gets Dark Rob. Whereas with Icarus attack, you would still lose your Wing Beast. When are you banning Kaiko and Breaker? They will never be banned. Breaker and Kaiko will never be banned. Oh, here's Vasky. Oppression. Ah, yes. Get your shit all oppressed. Get your shit during your end phase. Change this face-up defense position card on the field to face-up attack. So she has to go in attack mode. Let me just tell Poppy Choro. Alright, good. I was about to say. Too jank for me. Nobody's reading cards. Yeah, like, listen, this is the first week back on jank, and clearly the players need some time to get acclimated with the format again because there's been a lot of flubs today. Reptilian Naga. Okay, so he's going to take 16 and Breaker is going to permanently be reduced to 0. It's so crazy that it does this. Also, about Vasky, doesn't she tribute the monsters from anywhere? This card cannot be normal summoned or set. This card cannot be special summoned except by tributing 2 face-up monsters with 0 attack from anywhere on the field. This is, I mean, he has oppression, but like, well, not anymore. Oh, he could have put her in defense mode. Also, Breaker does not have a token. Oh wait, he put a token on it for that reason, for the 0 attack. But I don't think that... I kind of don't like it having a token. I think that it should just be 0 attack. Because, like, it looks very deceptive. There we go. Yeah, that I think that this is just more appropriate because Breaker having a counter on it, like literally for a second I completely forgot that like that Breaker does not have a spell counter. It's so cool that Snowman Eater actually combos, not combos, but like has synergy with Vasky as well. Dandelion, Snowman Eater, Scapegoat, Battle Fader. Like, there's a lot of synergy with this damn thing. Honestly, fuck it. Like, we gotta win somehow, right? Oh no, is this Gores? The crazy thing is, if he had any other card in his hand, he could summon that second Vandalgion. Damn, if Baku Brody was like a little bit more patient, I think he would have been in a much stronger position because he had the counter traps and double Vandalgion in his hand. I think he just got a little impatient and like, oh, let's see if that cost him the game, but... Now that I'm seeing what his back rows were, like double Dark Bribe and Divine Wrath with double Vandalgion in hand, I'm just chilling. Yes, he could have been able to Dark Bribe that, for example, if it was necessary. And then you would also get to pop a token or the back row. Yeah, I don't know. I think Vandalgion's nice. I also just love the artwork. I think that Vandalgion looks cool. I used to have ultra copies of this card. I don't think I own any of it now. And if I do, it's in like a random binder. The fuck? Reptilian Gardener. When this card you control is destroyed, it's into the graveyard. Add one reptilian monster. Oh wow. It's a dupe frog? But it has to be destroyed, not just sent. So it's a little bit worse. Oh, I'm so tired. I'm yawning a lot. Vasky? With Decree? Broken, and the fact that this crazy ass card can attack. I was going to call her something much worse, but the fact that this card can attack after doing that, insanity. Pop and attack. That is basically Hyperion. She's obviously worse than Hyperion, but like in Edison, you know, we're a yearbook for Tengu. Her being able to go summon pop attack is crazy. And she's bigger than all the Monarchs. Not that they're legal, but you know, she's bigger than all the monarchs. She's pretty much bigger than every tribute summon that people play in this format. Like Overdrive Teleporter, Jinzo. What are the other tributes that people have been playing in this format? I don't even. Do they play any other tributes? Yeah, that's the other thing. Vasky says that there can only be one of her on the field, which prevents your opponent from summoning one if you control one. So that's scary. "24 minutes left." Yeah, 2600 is a good stat. Honestly, 2550 would be fine. You can beat Stardust, you can beat Armor Master, Summon by Value. That is a good stat. It's the same reason why, like, Malicious Edge. I think Malicious Edge is actually a very good card. Malicious Edge also has several wins now because of Hero Frogs. And I think that is perfectly... Yeah, I think Malicious Edge is perfectly good because it's 2600 and it's one tribute. It's like an easy to summon 2600 monster that has a secondary effect, which it pierces, which does come up. Raikou, 2500 damage. Tokens, 2600 damage. Somebody just trying to defend themselves, whatever damage that would be. Beetover, Brio, all the monarchs, Stardust, Armor Master, Armwing. Like, pretty good card. Yeah, I've done it. I've attacked people with Malicious Edge on their face down monster for a game because you can't predict that shit's gonna happen unless they searched it with Stratos. So sometimes your opponent has no idea that, like, them just setting a Raikou thinking that it's safe is gonna be like, oh, you died because you set Raikou. Like, you had, you know, a guy on the field and you set Raikou because, like, why not? And then it's just like, bring back Treeborn and tribute for Malicious Edge attack face down. You're dead. But yeah, his ability to beat over Armor Master is actually worth a lot. Like, beating Armor Master summoned by Value is genuinely a good thing because normally against that card you'd have to use a Monarch on it or you have to use Raigeki Breaker or something like that. But just being able to go like tribute summon, like searchable monster, tribute summon over attack. Yeah, the Soul Exchange thing is really good. I also like that Soul Exchange can be used even if it's their only monster for Malicious Edge, because that's just the way it works. Like, if your opponent has one monster on the field and you have Soul Exchange Malicious Edge, you can Soul Exchange it and still summon him with one tribute. Right, do you know about the drastic drop-off game losses thing? I do. It's a very scummy thing that apparently someone was doing where they would like wait till their opponent essentially shuffle their hand after drawing a card, which some people do very quickly anyway, but they would wait till they shuffle and then like drastic drop off and there's no way to verify what card was drawn and all that. I would immediately ban somebody from my server if they did that. Especially like considering that this is a fucking online local and that is just not the vibe of the server, nor is that the vibe of like the JANK tournaments. Also because it's DB and we have like replays, you know, if somebody drew, shuffled their hand, and then you were like, oh, I want the drastic drop off, like, you know, we run on an honor system, so the person will discard whatever they drew for turn, and if it's found out in the replay that they did not discard the card they drew for turn, then they will obviously be banned at that point as well for cheating. But like, if you're going to drastic on draw phase, play it like a root dust shoot. Yeah, I think that. So it's weird because I can't say that like you should play it like a spell kind of, because then at that point, like, I don't really like the idea of you having to reveal that the card you just said is drastic drop off, because that has implications. You know what I mean? Like now your opponent might be like, oh no, I'm popping that with dust rail on the end phase or whatever, right? And so you can't like impose any kind of rule like that. Yeah, I think that like if I was doing an online tournament like these, right, and drastic drop off, the drastic drop off thing happened where somebody shuffled their hand when they drew, and the opponent flipped drastic drop off. It's like, okay, I'm gonna have you, the person who is affected by the card, discard whatever you drew, and then we can watch the replay after the duel to see that you discarded the actual card that you drew. And if it's determined that you didn't discard the actual card that you drew, you're banned for cheating. It's very straightforward. Like DB has some benefits. The replay thing in DB is actually pretty good as a benefit, because it's also the reason why like you don't need to necessarily reveal with Mind Crush, because let's say I called Caius and you have two of them but you only discarded one. Well, if I see that in the replay, you're banned. Yeah, you do have priority in draw phase to use an MST you just drew. You can use a Book of Moon, you can use a Scapegoat, you can use MST, which is why specifically when you watch me record videos, you'll see I wait until they go to like standby phase or try to go from standby to main phase before I activate Dust Shoot. Because that means that if you try to change phases, you are not using your priority as a turn player to play a quick play card to ruin your hand or to lower your hand. Sorry, I think that you have the whole situation completely confused. In the counter fairy video, my opponent wasn't chaining to my counter traps. He was activating the card that he drew because it happened to be a quick play card. And unfortunately, I did not wait for him to pass priority, so he technically can draw an MST or draw a Book of Moon or draw a Scapegoat and activate it. And I really can't do anything about it because he did not change phases. If he would have went like change phase and I activated drastic drop off and then he tried to activate a quick play, then I'm like, well, no, because you clearly weren't using that. But the fact that I activated drastic drop off at the correct time, which is when he drew, he actually can do his thing before your counter trap. Like you can't drastic drop off before I MST. No, you're not understanding, Sai. Sai, you're not understanding. Okay. You're not following at all. Is there anyone else playing, or are we going around for? There's the Blur and Pumpy Heart. Okay. Yeah, I think a lot of people just had a hard time comprehending what was happening in that duel. But my opponent was not chaining 2 counter traps. That is not what was happening. Like, obviously, you know, I'm better than 99.9% of people who play this game. I understand how counter traps work. I understand how the phases work. So, you know, go back and watch it. See if you can comprehend what was actually happening. The insects out here, they're just out here cooking. I love this card, Layer Wire. I also love the artwork of it. All right, so that was the last game of round 3. Poppy Chore is undefeated, and then the Blur and Puppy Heart, I'm not sure. I did see Hoban just won another YCS. Yes, he won a team YCS in some foreign country. Him, Jesse Cotton, and Chris LeBlanc. It's pretty nice. I like how the Americans just abuse. They like abuse the shit out of the foreign YCSs. Like, there are so many more foreign YCSs than there were when I was playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And I feel like the Americans are just like, they just all go to them and just collect rings, and it's it's kind of funny. Like, it's been going on for a decade, I feel like, and they just go over there, play in a foreign YCS like YCS Ecuador or Brazil or Castlevania, and just absolutely, you know. It is pretty interesting that a spell speed 2 can be used before the counter trap can. Probably a bit unintuitive. It's just understanding like how Yu-Gi-Oh works as a game. Like, I enter a phase as turn player, I have priority to use a spell speed 2 or higher before you can do anything. So in my draw phase, I can use MST before you can do anything. It is very simple to understand. That's just how the game works. This is the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! And a lot of people watched that video and had no fucking idea how Yu-Gi-Oh! Itself works. And so I was letting my opponent use their priority because I flipped Drastic Drop Off before they actually got to use their priority. Now, whether he wanted to use priority or not, I cannot determine if he was scumbagging it. Obviously, it looks like he's scumbagging it because he's a fucking DB gremlin, and that's what DB gremlins do. But like, at the end of the day, oh, this is not jank. At the end of the day, there's really nothing I can do. Like, if he's like, yeah, I was going to activate this, like, okay, fucking activate it then. It's just funny that it happened more than once. I think that was the part that was like really funny to me, is that it wasn't just like a one-time thing. It like happened multiple times. I was like, this can't be real. Like this just can't be real. Let me set a timer. But I actually like that Counter Fairy deck. It had one glaring flaw to it, but like, it was pretty good. It was a pretty cool deck. It's just that it needed the opponent in order for it to function properly, and I think that that is like a little egregious because I hate playing decks that require my opponent. So, because they're exploitable in that way. But other than that, this is a pretty solid deck. Fuck. This is not it. There we go. All right. Are these two undefeated? They are. Poppy Choro and the Blur. They're the only undefeateds. There can only be one after this. Why are we doing... Why is this 5 rounds? If there's going to be one undefeated at the end of this round, we're not doing 5 rounds. I'm lowering this. Can I lower this? Yeah, there we go. Because there's not going to be more than one person undefeated after this round. There's no need to play a 5th round. Like, what are we doing? All right, so this will be the last round. Thank God. No, there's not been an update to the ban list. That's what I'm saying, because who's scapegoating in the draw phase? I mean, Tom Mack. And Tom Mack scapegoated in the draw phase to dodge a trap dust shoot. Like, you can't say that someone wasn't going to do something. You don't know that. Like, there are different levels of players that actually do use priority in the draw phase to play around cards. Like, factually. Oh wait, are they not playing each other? It says Poppy Churro is playing the Blur. So the two undefeateds are playing each other right now. Yeah, they're playing each other. Churro Nation is somebody completely different. Listen, KLB, I've been trying to explain this. People are not getting it. I don't know what to do. I give up. Like, if you don't understand how priority works at this point and it's 2026, you know, I'm sorry to that man. The Zane video? What Zane video? Oh, the Zabo video. I was like, who the hell is Zane? I immediately thought of the singer. I was like, Zane? Like Pillow Talk Zane? No, but yeah, Zabo is actually so good, and hearing him like navigate duels, he navigated those duels and Teach Me How to Cook so fucking well. Like, so well. I was very impressed. Also, he just has a storied history in Yu-Gi-Oh! That I had no idea about. Like, he's been around since the early days, and he's been accomplished since the early days, like since he was a teenager. But yeah, he's good, and he also brought zombies back to life, which is so interesting because now people are like playing zombies again. What was the worst Teach Me How to Cook collab? I don't know if any of them were like the worst, because there's a couple that I never uploaded because they just weren't palatable for the internet. But in terms of the ones that have gone on the channel that you guys know about, I think that pretty much all of them have some value to them, even if it's just for comedy. Like, I think that the one with the fish guy, Homam Jamal, was really, really funny, where he's playing like fish OTK that he used to go 8-0 at Anaheim. And on the video, he couldn't get a single win on ladder, and he played like 3 sets. That was funny to me, because he like tried to colossal army arm into a D-Fisher. It was just like flub after flub after flub, but I enjoyed because it was just really unhinged. I think that a lot of people found that video really funny, including myself. And then you know, there's the quote from me in that video that people still use to this day. It's like, do you know what you're doing? Like, I think that video is really good, but if you're looking at it to learn anything about Fish OTK, I'm sorry, but that is not the video for it, right? So, you know. Yeah, the fish one was unhinged. I've had some that I've been disappointed in because I expected more from the guest, and they kind of just weren't great for recording. And that's something that, as a content creator, I've been a content creator since 2021. As a content creator for almost 5 years now, because this whole brand IMNerd started July 15th, 2021. As a content creator for IMNerd and of the last 5 years, one of the things that I've learned and I'm still very young in this whole thing, but not everybody is meant to be in front of a camera, basically. Not everybody is meant to be like recorded and given a platform or understands like how to present on a platform. And even if the person is like brilliant in another way, right? Like they can be a very accomplished player, or they could be very smart, or all of these other things. Some people are just not meant for a microphone to be in front of their face. Like some people just were never ever meant to be recorded in life. They don't have the charisma. Like one of the things about me is that I possess a lot of charisma, right? I don't know where it really came from, but I'm a very charismatic speaker when I am talking about Yu-Gi-Oh and like other things. I'm very convincing, and I speak with like enthusiasm when I feel like it, but I feel like some people just don't have charisma, so they're just kind of boring, and that is a problem when you're doing content for entertainment. So even though you're like, oh man, this guy's like, you know, they're accomplished and they're smart and they're all these things, and you talk to them via Discord or text, and you're like, oh, they're like, you know, we're volleying back and forth and I understand everything they're saying and we're speaking at a high level and all that good stuff. We're discussing the game at like the top player level, but then you bring them on camera and you put a microphone in their face, and it's like, this person is so outrageously boring and not at all made for YouTube or anything like a podcast or anything like that. That is a disappointing thing that happens and has happened multiple times. It doesn't happen like super often, but when it does happen, I'm very disappointed, because it's like, damn, I wish that you were able to like tap into something to be more entertaining as you speak, but not everybody's meant for it. Did you ever play against Cesar Gonzalez or Ryan Spicer back in the day? They were two of my favorite players way back. I did not play against either one of them. I know who you're talking about, but I never played against either of those people. Homom has the most beautiful frog deck in real life. I believe it. I listen to Golf Daily Fantasy Pods, and one of them routinely makes that point. His most popular episodes are with his idiot friends. The ones that will actually help you win money get the least views. Yeah, it's very interesting because like some people are really, really good at like Yu-Gi-Oh, or they're good at talking via text, right? Like they type and you know, you're reading it and you're going back and forth and you're talking to them. I'm like, oh, he understands. He understands ball. He knows ball. I love when another player knows ball, when I can speak on a level that I know that you understand. Like, we're not discussing turn player priority when you enter draw phase, because that will never matter, because your skill level is high enough where I just know you understand how that works, and I'll never have to explain that to you. That is the type of thing that is like, okay, I can just be myself and not have to dumb myself down for the sake of you understanding. But when there's a microphone in their face, or there's a camera on them, or whatever, it just like makes them into a boring bot. And that happens to a lot of people because they're just not used to it. And if you're not used to it, like for example, a lot of people will have their friends start recording them, and you know how it is. People record you out of nowhere and you kind of just like tense up a little bit because there's a camera on and you're being recorded. You're not used to being recorded, so it's unnatural to you. Same thing when people get pictures taken of them. A lot of people look crazy in pictures. Like, a lot of people do not photograph well because they're just so fucking like not used to being photographed. They're not photogenic, and they kind of freeze up in a way that is unnatural because they're not used to taking pictures. I feel like almost all episodes of Teach Me How to Cook have been great. I do think that most of them are very, very good. Like, I think that Teach Me How to Cook is very, very good overall, and there's only a few exceptions where it's like, this one isn't great. But I think that they're all great in their own way. Obviously, I'm biased, but I think that even if you don't get high-level gameplay, you will at least get entertainment. Like, I think me, Keegan, and Jake was terrible for like learning, but it was really good for entertainment. It was a very entertaining episode because there's three people all just going in on like what to do, and we all have different opinions, and so that is really fun from an entertaining standpoint. But from a learning standpoint, if you're like, I want to learn zombies, then you need to watch the Zabo video that's coming out, because the zombie video we did with me, Jake, and Keegan is not good for learning, but it's good for entertainment. And so it's just like, you know, every episode is good for a different reason. I would say the bulk of them are good for entertainment and for learning, because I know how to make things funny that normally would not be funny, but I can like ham it up to make it funny for the camera. But yeah, the Zabo video will be dropping soon. Members get all of our videos free and early for the most part. So not free, but like early, I mean, like early access to the videos. So if you're interested in getting the videos ahead of time before, you know, the regular people get them, then consider becoming a member. It's only $5. And yeah, we also have members only content and stuff like that. So check it out if you're interested in that type of thing. Yeah. The you, Keegan, and Jake one got the zombie players out, then Zabo won. It was poetic. It was poetic. It kind of worked out perfectly. Because I also planned to have Zabo on earlier. And it just worked so well. At LDS Raleigh, I ran into Zabo. And he had scrubbed out. And I was like, yo, like, I would love to have you on the channel. Let's collab, let's do something. And he was like, yeah, I'm down. Like, he wanted to come on the channel. And I was like, okay, we'll schedule it like later on. You know, I'm busy. I have to cut my hair off. This is before I did all of that. But I was like, at some point we'll schedule it. And then he goes and wins Genesis. And like, I was like, wow, what are the odds? Because now him coming on Teach Me How to Cook is so much better because he has an experience to talk about. That is, he already had experiences, but like winning is a different level of experience. Most people don't get to experience it. I've said the word experience like 8 times. But if you think about it, there are probably less than 100 different Edison champions at this point, right? Like if you add up everyone who has won an Edison major, there's probably not 100 different people. So being in the winner's circle of like someone who's won an Edison major it's a very small group of people, and he can speak from that experience now, which I love having the winners on the channel. A lot of the people who are on the channel have won. Tom Mack, Sizzle, Hydro Pump, like Pro Storm, you name it, right? Like most of the winners, a lot of the winners have been on the channel, and that Seba, like you know, there's so many of them, Ludo, but hearing their perspectives is like really nice. I have not seen a video with Keegan. I'll go watch it right now. Have fun. See ya. What is that monster? This guy? Millennium Scorpion. Each time this card destroys one monster on your opponent's side of the field by battle and sends it to the graveyard, this card gains 500. Yeah, Millennium Scorpion apparently. He get big. Doom Dozer is a classic. You guys remember Doom Dozer from back when there was a Demise OTK deck? You would like summon Demise, you would pay 2,000, destroy everything on the field, then you would summon Doom Dozer by banishing the 2 advanced ritual arts insects monsters that you sent to the graveyard, and then you would equip it with Megamorph, which would turn it into a 5,600 monster, and 24 and 5,600 is exactly 8,000. And that was a very classic old school Yu-Gi-Oh deck that was actually a tournament winning deck. Also, you could metamorphosis the Doom Dozer into Cyber Twin Dragon, and that's a 5,600 damage monster as well because he attacks twice and he's 28. So there were 2 ways to like OTK your opponent. Demise, pay 2,000. You could equip the Doom Dozer with Megamorph, or you could metamorphosis it into Cyber Twin Dragon. Igera, I don't understand. Why did you blind Mind Crush Advanced Ritual Art when you could just wait till they activate Advanced Ritual Art and call Demise? Like, why did you play it blind? That doesn't make much sense. You had to chain it to decree. Okay, sure. Sure, King. Sure, Jan. Sure, Jan. So you're saying if they summon Manju, you were cooked? Trey, I wouldn't really say it's a 4-card combo because you have all the Senju, Manju, Sonic Bird stuff. So like those cards are literally searches for pieces of the combo, and over time you can just kind of build up the pieces. Solemn. Big breaker. Breaker on the face down monster, huh? Oh no. Now Breaker losing all his fucking stats. Permanently. That is not great. I'll say this. I think if 704 was going to like summon Breaker this turn, then MST shouldn't have been used on the back row. Am I making any sense in saying that? So Breaker becomes 0. Permanently. Like the fact that this fucking thing does that permanently is so wild to me. I cannot get over that. Fraser, this is a random question. Careful, Sasha. Ask me the wrong thing and you'll be banned. No, I'm kidding. Smashing around, okay. Do you remember when people saw that wave motion and random burn cards in like 06, 07? Yes, I do remember that. I do remember people citing Ceasefire. Yeah, I remember the era of citing burn cards. I remember the era of citing life gain cards like Mystic Walk. Yeah, that was a part of Yu-Gi-Oh! Am I crazy, or is it set lone judgment in this format where everyone plays 3-breaker kind of bad? Perhaps you are onto something, Exceeds Towers. You will probably be very good in JANK format. I feel like if my opponent sides burn cards or life gain cards, and it also was determined that they kind of like slow played the whole match, sure, I'll accept my L, but I'm absolutely making people aware that that guy is stalling people out and siding Ceasefire and shit. Like, I'm going to go out of my way to make sure that you do not have a pleasant tournament going forward if that's what your strategy has been going into this event. Like, you're going to slow play and then side and burn cards, and that shit is so corny. Yo, what the hell is this? Underground Arachnid. 1 Dark Tuner plus non-tuner insect monsters. So what did he use? Okay. And then it says, if this card attacks, your opponent can activate spell or trap cards. So it has the Ancient Gear guys effect. And once per turn, you can select one face-up monster your opponent controls and equip it to this card. If this card will be destroyed by battle, you can destroy the monster equipped to this card by its... Okay. Underground Arachnid. You can only equip one. So this can equip more, like one at a time. It can only equip one. It can only have one thing, but oh boy. Yo, this Breaker having 0 attack is sending me. Like, Breaker in defense mode is actually funny. I've never seen Breaker in defense mode. It doesn't even look right sideways. Doesn't this turtle activate or no? When this card, oh, you control, never mind. It says you control. Thank you. I sneezed. Insects cook. Oh no. Oh no. 5,000 damage to the dome and there's nothing you can do about it? Oh my god. Smash ass. 5 vanities. Doom Dozer, doesn't this do something? When this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent, send the top card of their deck to the grave. It has an effect, guys. Poppy needs to mill. I mean, that's a good mill, because you don't want to draw a torrential against this anyway. So this has Goblin Zombies effect, randomly. Oh boy. Yo, imagine they drew the brain control just now. So like, your mill potentially did that. Like, you milling that torrential potentially is the reason why that happened. I'm gonna find out too, because I'm that curious of like, did the mill kill you? This is how my brain works. I want to see did the mill kill. Yep, we draw scapegoat, we set scapegoat, we chain scapegoat. Heavy. She pops. Should be take. Yep. Okay, they already have the Cyber Valley. Smashing down that. Attack over that. Then it's going to mill one. They're going to draw Deep Prison. Okay, here's the moment of truth. Oh my god. They would have... Okay, so they would have drawn Deep Prison and Torrential and Dandelion, but they would have never saw this brain control. Wow. Wow. The mill actually killed. Because it was Torrential, Deep Prison, Dandelion, then brain control. That is like... That is so unfortunate. Yeah, the milling one, hitting the Torrential out the way, so then he draws Deep Prison, then Dandelion, then brain control. This brain control would have been the next card, and potentially he would have been able to defend himself depending on what his top card was. Now, granted, he might just still lose the brain control because brain control is brain control. It's the second most hated card in the entire format, as we found out from my top 5 most hated cards in Edison format. But yeah, anyway. So I like knowing stuff like that. I like knowing when like the most minor thing, like a Goblin Zombie attack, ends up ruining the game. It happens so often. Because every card matters, obviously. Anywho. Is there one more table playing? Are they playing or no? It says Churro Nation versus Mellow Mask. Let me check. Oh boy. Okay, I think that does it. So looks like Poppy Churro is the winner today. Congrats to Poppy Churro. Let me... This is actually a very easy... I don't have to rely on standings, because for some reason the thing was like, oh, 5 rounds, which I get it. There's a certain number of people that makes it 5 rounds, but like at the same time though, 5 rounds when there's only 1 undefeated at the end of 4 is kind of a meme. So there's no reason to play a 5th round. Doomdozer being a legit boss monster here is kind of wild. Yeah, Doomdozer being actually like a real card, a real threat, because we're playing Edison JANK is a thing. Anywho, I'm going to grab the deck list of the winner tonight. So let me do that. Grab this deck real quick so you guys can see it. That is not the bot only giving me his extra deck and side deck just now. The bot just gave me his extra deck and side deck and nothing else. Bro, it's only... Okay. I'm going to download his deck now because this is ridiculous. Oh shit, it's just not showing me the deck. What the fuck? Not it's only giving me... Okay, here we go. Here's the actual deck, chat. Holy shit, that was bad. So yeah, Triple Vasky. I don't even know. Evil Dragon Ananta must be special summoned by banishing all reptiles you control and in your graveyard. This card's attack and defense become the number of monsters banished for a special summon time 6. Once per turn during your end phase, target 1 card in the field, destroy it. Okay, so you summon this thing and just start popping shit immediately, basically, like when you end phase. It's pretty good. It's like just you could just banish 1 for it and just pop something, and like you don't really care what happens to it after that. It also, yeah, so that's cool. And then you have Cyber Valleys and Dandelions and Faders and this, so a bunch of everything is like 0 attack. And then you just have like Vanity's Fiend for the Fires of Doomsday synergies. You have Gores because technically you can tribute something for Gores. Creature Swap makes sense. Scapegoat obviously makes sense. They have their Icarus attack. This looks like a solid list in Jank. I am not surprised that this list could do well in this format. This is definitely like something to look out for, especially going forward after the ban list at the end of this month. I think this deck will be even more playable. But yeah, here we go. So this is the winning list. There are some things in this Reptilian Hydra. If this card is synchro summoned, destroys many monsters your opponent controls with 0 attack. It's possible, and if you do, draw 1 card for each. Oh shit. I don't see a tuner though. 1 Reptilian tuner. Yeah, he doesn't play whatever the tuner is. He doesn't play it. His extra deck is kind of a meme. The fucking Sun Dragon is in here. Like the Moon Dragon is in here. Anyways, all right. Well, guys, I'm going to end the stream here. It has been real. This was a nice, quick, you know, Tuesday night slurp. So I appreciate everyone who stopped by tonight. I will catch you all probably next week. Maybe I'll stream this weekend or something. Maybe I'll play some Slay the Spire 2 on stream. I don't know. We'll figure something out. But yeah, have a good night, everybody. Catch you all later. Peace.